Good evening and welcome.
Somebody say
Nice to see everybody. Yeah. Nice to have everybody here today. Welcome to Discovery News. It's the Hanging with Howie show when we are without Howie this evening. He got called away, so we'll hopefully see him again pretty soon. My name's John, DJ John, Boston John, in green tonight, celebrating hopefully a banner night for the Celtics, but in future time we'll have to see what happens. And notice it is 617, home of 617, so there is some connection in the cosmos here. 2008, I think we did this, and it happened to be on the same date. So let's see, fingers crossed. So we're going to do a show tonight. So let me take a run around the room and say hi to all our treasured guests here. We've got DJ Eric with us tonight. Hello.
Hi.
We have DJ Buddy is here. Hello, Buddy. DJ Kevin is here with us. Hi, Kevin. We've got Scott, DJ Scott Carroll here with us this evening, and DJ J. Brandon. How are you, sir?
How are you?
617 love, my man. 617 love.
Always.
Without Howie being here, and we were tossing around a few different ideas to come up with the topic with tonight, we came up with perhaps giving ourselves some good advice in the past. If you could go back with what you know now and talk to yourself when you were starting out as a DJ, what's a few pieces of advice you would give yourself, that information that you've picked up over the years that would have been a benefit to know when you were just getting started out? Because a lot of our viewers are new. We do have some seasoned people and some people with a lot of experience. And in this room, collectively, there's a ton of experience. So we'll take a few minutes each and just kind of maybe we might hit on some of the same topics, but I bet there's going to be some really valuable information out of this. So we're just going to go in the order as I called you initially, and we'll start things off with I know what Buddy's finger went up for. And before we get started, perhaps we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors who are here to sponsor the show. DJ Event Planner, you can take a look at their information. The link is in the video's description. Please visit them and check out their information. Thank you, Buddy. DJ Eric, why don't you lead us off and give us some gold nuggets?
Well, I would first say organization would be top priority. Like if I had known that back then, when you first start, you're just eager to get out there and get going and doing it. And then what do? You start learning by your mistakes. And there are a lot of them when you first start. Organization, it has to be right up there when you first start, I believe. Because if you're not organized, it's going to be hell. And it's not going to go well. I'll leave it at that because we got a lot to go around. And then if we got time to go around, we will.
Did you mean musically, or maybe more on the clerical side, like having your paperwork and affairs in order? Which you started in the days of vinyl, right?
Yeah, vinyl, then cassette, then it wasn't good. It was a big hill to climb. Now it's very easy. So if you're starting out now, it's not gonna. Maybe you won't understand some of our nuggets here tonight. But like if you started out with vinyl, my God, I wish Damon was in the room tonight because he also started with vinyl, and probably still is using it for all we know. But vinyl was difficult, but yet very easy if you understand what I'm saying. You could just grab it and bang, go to track 4, no problem. Now with MP3, you got to find the crate, and sometimes the search makes it easy too if you want something real quick. So I don't know. Organization. What I meant by that, John, was you yourself need to be organized to run any gig. It could be technical. It has to be all of it. You've got to be organized in all aspects of running the gig. And if you don't know what you need to be organized with, good luck. You need to.
Right. Well, sadly, that's the thing. You don't know what you don't know.
Right. Well, that's the thing. But you learn the hard way, and then you get through it, which we've had shows about that before. Getting yourself out of a pinch,
Sure. Yeah. Well, that's a great piece of advice, Eric. Stay organized, stay on top of things, especially if you're going to take on the wedding game, because there's just so much to keep track of. There's a lot of moving parts.
That's a whole different animal.
From event to event, especially if you got events stacked up in a weekend, you're doing 2 or 3 different couples. There's a lot to try to keep straight. That's you don't want those kind of errors showing up on in the interwebs. Buddy, why don't you give us a couple here?
Uh-oh.
Are you muted?
I
Did your mic
can't
go out?
hear.
Something
No,
happened.
I unfortunately hit the wrong button.
Oh,
I'm a professional, trust me.
He's not
Yes, yes.
organized. He's not
all
organized.
right. Take us
I'm
from the top.
organized.
Take two.
I definitely would have to say to build upon Eric a little bit. Organization, I think, is very strong. Not just paperwork wise, music wise, equipment wise, so forth, so on. It should embrace that part for everything within your realm, because being organized is a great thing. And I do kind of miss vinyl. When I started out in vinyl in high school and doing it in college, I wish I still had a lot of my albums, because I miss those albums, those songs. But I will definitely would say, if I had to go back to when I started my business, I definitely would tell myself to probably look more in advertising, where you put your advertising dollars. And especially nowadays, interwebs are much more advanced than it was back in 03, 04, 05. The internet was there. Internet was very popular, just like it is now, but it's a little different. And I would definitely say, where you put your money at for advertisement, always look at what you're doing. And I'm one of the DJs who started when I started my business. I was on Craigslist. I was on those sites like that, because that was, at the time, a place where you could actually get some good business and good leads. But as you grow, you learn, like, hey, you know what? I'm not I'm not this, I'm not that. I could do this better on this side, or I get more leads on this side. And that's the thing, is that put your money where you need to put your money at, invest back into the business. And like before, the big thing is that where you're putting your money, how much money you're investing in advertisement, and how much you're getting back for the advertisement. I think it's a big thing I would tell myself, especially that. And if I can go way back again, back at high school and college, is don't throw away those albums, and keep those. Don't sell your turntables, because when you hit when you hit 50 and you look around, you see some of your fellow DJs, especially guys here in the chill room, have turntables, and you're like, man, I want some turntables again.
Yeah, I miss my stuff. I want my records back.
There's
absolutely.
It's so much fun. There's no computer. It's between you and your pitch control and listening to everything. And that's one of the things I do say that I still do. I listen to the beat of the music. I don't look at the wave all the time. I listen to the beat of the music and hear the beat of the music and match. And when I do beat matching, it's through the beat and to get it that way, versus watching the waveforms and trying to line up and so forth. But it's a lot of things I still try and challenge myself. And I'd love to get my hand on what Jay has at his house there at his casa, the turntables. I'd love to get a pair of those. I keep talking to Tracy about it, but she's not budging and saying I don't need them.
What's your address? Jay said I'll just send them to you, no problem.
Oh yeah, sure. Jay has a ton of them just sitting around. Yeah. Of course.
Supplies are going fast.
Nope. See? Nope.
No.
I'm envy of you, Jay. I'm envy.
Turntables. Vinyl forever.
He's got to point them out and tease me.
Well, it's funny you mentioned vinyl.
Thank you, buddy. That's awesome, buddy.
You mentioned vinyl because it's making a big comeback. Vinyl is coming back. I don't know.
I don't think it ever went away.
Right. But I'm saying more and more of today's DJs are getting a feel for it and using it, which is great.
They're not doing. There's a few guys doing true vinyl. I mean, they actually have. You're picking it out of the sleeve. You're looking at the record. You're putting it down, and you're actually playing music off it. A lot of guys do vinyl, and it's basically they're using software and they're using basically the record for time keep versus actually taking a record and doing it. That's more. That's a challenge and it's fun.
That is old school. Let's keeping it real. Keeping the rubber to the road, beat to the street. Kevin, what do you have for us? What would a couple of ideas of some things you've learned over the years that would have been valuable back in the day?
Well, back in the day, the big thing for me would have been start doing this a little sooner. My uncle was a big time DJ and worked a little bit in the Detroit market, and sort of got I guess, aged out of a club. So he came back and got back in more into the wedding, and I started hooked up with him. Hey, this is fun. I always enjoyed music, So I guess my thing is start a little sooner, would have gained more knowledge, be more seasoned. In conjunction with that, I would say be around different DJs, learn what they do, take what you like the best of that one, take the best of this one, take, I like what that guy does. I like that what that girl does, and sort of become your own person, but take what you feel is what you're good at. My uncle's very good at the being a very robust, I'll say, announcer for the bride and groom, the bridal party coming into the room. And I sort of cheesed my way into doing that. The other thing I mentioned before we started this was don't get rid of any of your music. Even if it's on tapes or whatever, keep it, convert it, make it usable. Don't pitch it. Keep it around for, and ever, because you never know when a tune that you think is dead and gone might come back.
Good points.
I'll put a side note on what you just put through, Keith, is just as you're going out and shadowing these DJs, these people that are in your market, in your area locally, that's kind of how you build a network, that you have some guys that you can trust and call if you have an emergency and you've been out with these people and you say, I know this person's got the gear, got the talent, they're punctual, and they'll give it their all. And I've seen what their all looks like. And then, that's the number and that's the card you keep in the Rolodex, that if you ever do have some kind of an emergency, you got somebody you can trust. Yeah. So not only are you learning, but you're building, that you've got some people that do the same, that think like you, that spin like you, that can, read a room and listen to the requests and not just play their own version of what they think the people want to hear. That's just part of that as well. But those are two great things. Keep your vinyl and do some networking as you learn, for sure. Scott, what would you like to give us?
Well, I've been at this thing so long and it's not funny. I should have been on the History Channel. Gosh. I
heard you killed it at the Last Supper.
Yeah, I did. That was good. Yeah, it's bad when you were around when all those songs came out. But I started at the ripe old age of 17. So, and I'm fixed to hit 61 at the end of the month. So do the math. I've been at it for a while. It's yes, you make sure that you do keep your records. I refer to them as records. Vinyl's something that goes on a house, but keep your records. If you've got Technique 1200s, you better hold on to them. I just had mine worked on. There's a guy here in Florida that does them. He used to be out in California. And I'm trying to think, DJ Henry or something like that. He's out from California. He does a real good job at them. But I would say, going back, marketing. We did not have the marketing that we have now. We just didn't. You put an ad either in the paper or in an advertiser.
Yeah, like want ads or something. Yeah.
You want a DJ, call us now. Boom. And that was what we went with. Or you were with an agent. I worked for a lot of agencies back in the day because you just weren't able to get them on your own. Especially I was down in Miami, but I'm up here in North Florida now, but I was back in Miami and I was working clubs and mobile DJing too. So I was burning candles at both ends and doing radio. I started in radio and then went to mobile DJing. I did not start. Mobile DJing was an accident. Nobody wanted to do it because they had to haul records everywhere. They didn't want to do that. But getting back to the topic, being more marketing and getting what I wish we had what we have now. It's so much easier as far as being able to put it all together. A website, something to be able to pull it together. I call it the search mobiles of weddings, being the moguls that they're able to put together. Yeah, they're expensive, but you do get some return out of them. And just being able to do that, mentorship was really important to me back then. I did not know everything. I still don't know everything. But part of that, what I would say to draw back that length of time, because I was going from CD to MP3 20 years ago. We were changing over. We were going from vinyl to CD into MP3. I had worked for a multi-op company. They wanted everybody to be digital. The problem is some guys went out, I got this, and had hard drive failure. Or they were old desktop using Windows 98. We started out with Windows 98 using PC DJ, and they failed. And if you didn't have no CD, you were stuck. You were out there with a boat without a paddle. And I seen that. I'm running to go give them CDs. I said, why didn't you bring your CDs with you? Well, man, this ain't work great at the house. I said,
Yeah.
it usually fails
doesn't.
when you get it out and try to work with it. But all
That's
those
it.
things
It's never going to break when you don't want it to.
Yeah, but wheeling into that, I believe the marketing is really, I missed the boat on that. I really did, because I was too busy concentrating on putting the needle on the record back then. And that's what we did. We weren't, you paid people to do that for you, and it got expensive. But that's where I would say that I would really, if I had to do it back again and come back into view on that, I would say that's where I would want to be at, is the marketing aspect of it. So
you were fortunate in that you were a lot of different places, so you had exposure, which is hard for people just starting out. To get that first gig, to get the ball rolling, once someone can see you play, then the word gets out. Then
we did these live remotes. Well, we did these live remotes in radio, and people will come up to you, and this was in 84, 85. Hey, I'll pay you $400 for 3 hours if you come out and play. And I started booking these things right and left through the radio station. I paid for my gear. In less than a year. And 1200s were $400 for the turntables and another 100 for the Stanton ELIs that you had to buy with it. And and the GLI mixer was probably $400 or $500. I had a friend of mine, I bought a Uri mixer off of him and paid almost $500 for it. And people don't even know what that a Bozak or a Uri mixer is. They have no idea. And they weren't crossfaders. You didn't have all that. You had pots, and you could feel the mix better with them. And we used all that. People look at me when I go out with vinyl now. Why do you keep looking at the record? I said, I'm trying to find the break. I'm looking for the break in the daggum record.
Sometimes
like speaking a different language.
Sometimes you could see it in the grooves, though, if you look. Yeah.
Well, and I just put it up there. Yeah. Okay, there it is. Most of the time I knew where it was at. I had played the thing enough to where I knew where it was at, and I could look at it and see and read the crowd. And our thing with the clubs was, you know what I'm saying, get them out there, get them hot, get them sweating, play something crappy, get them back in again. That was our whole emphasis back then. But that's my view on it. Who is next on this thing here?
No, that is excellent, Scott. That's all some great stuff. And that's another skill that a lot of the DJs don't have, is that yo-yo to when you work in a bar, you give them the rush and you take it away so that the bar can make money. And
I learned all that, but I had a mentor that said that's what you need to do, and you listen. You don't get the big head, and you get the big head in this business, you're done. You
won't get the call back if you make it all about playing the music. You have to really work with the rhythm of the business too. Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Good stuff, Scott.
Yes.
Thank you. Over to Jay with us. Jay, have you been thinking about a couple of things to share with us?
Yeah, it's funny because this is the time of the year that I really kind of shut everything down and just focus on what I have in front of me. I kind of envy the DJs that are like worried about next summer and winter and corporate. And it's busy enough that I think you deserve, or I think your clients deserve, everything you have to offer for every event. And I can't plan my 2025 summer when I'm in 2024. So, I slow things down a bit at this time of the year, and I just focus on the gear and the clients. Because I can't do a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday event, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday if the gear starts getting squirrely. Last week I had 6 events last week, and the biggest focus was the gear. It was double checking the gear, making sure the gear is good, checking it at home. I didn't look at anything else. And I think that that's essential at this time of the year because, you could spend, Buddy was saying just numbers that just blow my mind, to advertise on 2 sites, you could be dropping, sounded like we were talking about almost $4,000 a month. And I'm sure if, you're getting the traffic and you have someone curating it, that's great. But I certainly don't have the time to run $4,000 worth of marketing every month and do the events. Because at this time of the year, I'm getting those calls and emails and texts Monday through Friday for the weekend. We just remembered, did we tell you we love this? Sorry, we forgot. By the way, do you have? I can't say to somebody, oh, sorry, I missed your text 2 days ago. I was planning my marketing strategies for 2025. So I understand that everyone does their things differently. We had a thing earlier that didn't make air. And I think it was you, John, that said, what would you tell, if you could go back 20 years in your career, what would you tell your 20-year ago about to be business DJ about the industry? And I've been thinking about that since you said it. And I think I've probably got the one answer no one expects and the one answer that will kind of take people off guard. So I'll explain it. If I could go back 20 years ago and tell myself something, I would tell myself not to talk to other DJs. And what I mean by that is we spend so much time, and this is a great example. Nobody's dead right now. And if they were, they wouldn't admit it. And everyone's charging $100,000 a wedding. And if they're not, they won't admit it. Yeah. So I think one of the critical times when you're busy, the thing to not do is talk to other DJs. Focus on you. Be selfish. It's you, the client, and that's it. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing. They bought a new car. They're going to DJX. They're the height of their career. Good for them, but they're not paying your bills. If they're not in the house, if they're not in the checking account, I don't care. If you've done 400 weddings last week, that's awesome. You're just amazing. But I think you really need to get a little selfish at this time of year and put on the blinders, cover your ears a little bit. And the only people you should be talking to are your family and your clients. Let the DJs go be famous. They're all amazing. They're all doing the killer jobs. And that's just truthful. This is a really good industry for helpfulness. And it's a good industry to get advice when you're around the right people. But in general, it's a pissing match sometimes. So don't compare yourself. While you're focused on you, don't make comparisons because you'll lose usually. And 90% of the time, the DJ telling you they're doing better than you, they're lying. They're lying. So don't be comparative. Just focus on your clients. And I like the fact that you said to,
live in the moment, be present. That the stuff is going on right in front of you. And this is what matters. Next year's calendar is next year's calendar. Don't short a current show because you're too preoccupied with fluff that doesn't matter yet.
I have lost business. Yeah, I've lost business, knowingly lost business, where people have said, I have to meet with you this Saturday because of our schedule. And I'm like, can we talk on the phone? I have an event this Saturday. Well, we're about 20 miles away. Can you meet us at 9 a.m? No. What time's your wedding start? 4. Oh, well, we could meet at Starbucks at 9. I'm like, I don't do meetings on the day of an event.
Yeah.
You don't? No. Because I get up, the gear is loaded, everything is set, and I don't want to leave the house unless I'm going to the event. Because what if I go to your meeting, I get in a car accident, and now the people that have already paid me don't get me. But you may turn around and say, yeah, you weren't a good fit. So my attitude is, the day of an event, I don't care who you are or what you have to offer me. I'm not meeting with you. And I won't even meet with you on the phone. My brain is stuck on today. I don't want to deal with tomorrow. I don't think actors work in the moment and then talk to people on the phone about the next part. Just be in the moment. I think we get too lost in it. Just people paid a lot of money for you to make their special day special. Do your job.
Right. Don't let anything get in the way of that. And
Now,
that was a topic on a forum not too long ago. Like, what do you change anything? And like, yes, it changed my diet, my day. I avoid unnecessary trips. Keep it real close to home when you know you get something that's, stay safe
sure
in the
you got,
bubble.
I'm sure you've all had the phone call. I've probably had 6 people call me the week of, the day of, or the day before. Hey, are you available this coming Saturday? No, why? I double booked. Oh, what happened? Well, I booked a $500 wedding, but then this friend of mine booked me on a $1,000 wedding, and I need to cover the $500. Well, that's a you problem. Click. Hey, man, I separated my shoulder. Oh, my God, did you get jumped protecting a school bus full of kids in wheelchairs with puppies? No, I went surfing. I had a bunch of drinks and I fell. Okay, that's a you problem.
Hey, Jay, we used to call them screamers.
Well, and that's it. Yeah, exactly, Scott. And people get like, oh, man, you're a jerk. I can't believe that. No, I'm really not. But I didn't choose to get on a jet ski the morning of my wedding.
Right.
I didn't choose to go play softball the morning of the wedding, and then I break my ankle. Can you imagine the phone call? Hey, yeah, I'm really sorry. Remember I talked to you last night. Everything was cool at 11 o'clock. Everything was good. Yeah, I got up and I played softball this morning, and I broke my ankle, and I can't do your wedding.
Yeah, I have done those weddings where I've had to show up and I meet the bride's father, and he's over there looking at me. You better do a good job. You talk about the heat is on. Oh, my goodness.
Scott, you want the heat is on? I had an officiant not show up at a wedding, and the ex-Marine father at about 6'3", 280 came up to me and said, "You're ordained?" I'm like, well, yeah, technically. I mean, I can technically. He goes, "You better do this wedding."
Ooh, ouch.
And he walked her down the aisle shooting daggers. He wasn't mad at me. He was just mad at the world, and I was part of it. And I did a good job, and everyone was happy, and they had a good party, and they're still married, and they got 3 kids, and life is good. But at that moment, I guarantee, and he said on a phone in front of me, "Hey, I'm really sorry I'm running late. I can't believe the traffic, this and that." And he said, "If you show up, you will leave in a bag." Wow.
It's not looking good for you.
And he said that to an ordained, like a pastor of a church. Ooh. What do you think he's going to do to Johnny DJ over here? Come on. Yeah, I'm not going to blow smoke and be butterflies and flowers, guys. This is a time when you got to buckle down and understand your role. And your role is to make someone stay special. And in order to do that, you got to focus on you. Be healthy. Don't do stupid stuff. Don't listen to other people. If they're not doing the gig with or for you, their opinion doesn't matter. Just doesn't.
There you go. That's all great stuff. Good stuff, Jay. Good stuff. Excellent. All right, I guess I'm the closer here, so I'm going to give us a couple of things to wrap it up. Being ready to go the extra mile, like stepping in and doing that ceremony, Jay. That's kind of where I'm coming from. Is when you start out, you take just enough gear to survive, but then you realize there's always things that can unfold that you just need to go an extra step. So when you pack and load up for gigs, take the extra step. In this day and age, if having the extra cord, the extra cable, the extra, yes, I can plug your phone in, or yeah, the hard drive went down, but I got another one right here. Don't worry about it. Just the precautionary stuff you can do to make sure that the show must go on. And the little steps you could take. And that's what I would tell old me is bring the extra 50 foot of XLR, because maybe you don't like the way the speaker sounds where it is and you want to throw it 50 feet further away. Bring the extra mic cable, bring a second mic. You don't have to bring a replication of your entire rig, but the stuff that matters, the critical pieces like cables, USB A to C, have a bunch of those, just so that if something catches you off guard, or a case, a wire gets closed in a case and crimped and doesn't work again, you've got a backup there on site and you're prepared. And that's the element of being professional in this business, is that nothing surprises you that you can't fix on the fly, that you can't MacGyver your way out of a situation. Whether it be, having DJ software on a tablet that if you have an issue with the controller, you can still limp your way through the gig and finish to the finish line proudly and say, I was able to do this. It makes sense to bring a second laptop. These these peripherals, they fail for no reason. They fail because they feel like it, because it's been out in the sun for 1 minute too long and it thermaled. These are the things you can prevent and have the extra stuff with you to make sure that you're not put in a situation where you can't complete the task at hand. And that would be the piece of advice I would tell myself. And that's everything from making sure that the spare in your car has air in it. And you leave them with a full tank of gas in case every gas station is closed between here and the gig because you thought you would have had time to stop.
You have to get gas and batteries and everything from a store the night before. There's nothing worse than that day of rush and you look down and there goes the light and you're like, I admit stupidity. I've done it a few times.
Yeah.
Now, full tank the night before.
There's nothing worse than that feeling.
Yeah, great call, John, on that.
Well,
It's just
I
it's
ran out of gas coming back.
Yeah, coming back, it's a different story. But when you go into the gig, you think the gig through one step further. Like we just did a corporate one, and then we were told to bring a laptop because we were doing a projector. So I get the laptop and I get everything. I leave. I'm about a half a mile down the road. I said, you know what I didn't take? I didn't take a 3.5 to an XLR because I bet you dimes to dollars that presentation is going to have a slide with audio in it. And I got no way of getting that to the board if I don't have that cord with me. I went back and got it. Sure, then you know what? That's what they needed. And I had it with me because I just thought that one extra step further saying, this could lead to something that I don't want to look like I'm not prepared. Even though they didn't ask for it. It wasn't on the paperwork. That's just the type of things that you prepare yourself for. And I think that and the culmination of all that data that we just went through, all those great ideas and great tips, I think just help, separate us from the 295 for 3 hours Craigslist guys. That's what gives the vote of confidence that this is a team of some highly professional, well experienced pros. So great to have you guys here, and want to thank everyone for tuning into the show. Hopefully we'll see Howie back next week. Thank you for watching. Be sure to hit like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Go Celtics.
John, before you go, it's not just you, and I feel bad. You get the green there for the Celtics, and they get the playoff tonight. And here I am wearing a Patriot shirt, but I can fix this. Hold on. No Celtics.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. Just like they sell in the pro shop. Absolutely.